So we did a great coverage tip on the roots and balayage with a semi-permanent application.
My name is Daniel, I'm second year at Raw, and today I had to do a solid bob haircut, and I then had to do a grey coverage with balayage on the ends.
The first colour that we applied today was the tint on the roots, and I used a 5 NBP with 4 N, but I used two parts, 5 NBP and only 1 part 4 N, and we used 6%.
So with my colour first, I've previously done the hair before, so all I wanted to do was just refreshen up, cover the greys, and then put with the balayage. I made it a little bit more solid, so there was a bit more contrast through the ends. So what I first used was I had a 6 NGB just to keep the warmth in it, but more of a golden brown instead of the coppers and the reds. So I had a 7 NGB with 6%, and then I also had 7N in there as well, just to help cover the greys a bit more. There was about around the 30% grey, so it wasn't more than half. And then I added just a tiny bit of 6N as well, just to bring it down, just to bring the colour a little bit darker than a level 7, so there was more contrast from her roots to her ends. And then on her ends I used a 12% with BL, with the bleach, and then downstairs after washed out I used a 10B to tone, just to freshen up the ends and give it a nice warmth to it.
The second colour that I applied was BL with 12%, and I applied it in medium-sized sections starting horizontally from the back of the head, and I kind of back-combed the hair with my hands before applying it, so that it would kind of give it a grown-out effect, more of a sunlight effect. Yeah. Sunlight. Natural, yeah. And then once I washed the colour out, I used a 7RB with a 6K on the ends for 7 minutes.
So with the sections that I did, because it was great coverage, you do the cross, so middle and then the sides, and then working from the front to the back. With the balayage, because I wanted it to be a little bit more contrasting, it's that the hair is it's got a nice wave to it. So I didn't back comb too much the sections. I didn't back comb too much. Instead, I was back combing a little bit, but I was painting more solid, and then on the ends as well. So she already did have lighter ends, but all I've done is I've made bits more lighter and having more contrast through there with the solid balayage.
So what percentage did you use again?
12%.
Yeah. So did you take it all the way to the ends, or did you just kind of take a little bit higher on the back ends?
I took a little bit with the balayage. I did. I took it up on a higher. Sorry. With the sections that I was doing, I did take some up higher. Along the ends, I did paint on a lot of the ends, but not all of it, because I didn't want to have all these lightened bits of a band and then having the balayage up higher. So it was very much just painted on but missed bits, and it was the same with the roots as well. I did take, when I did the roots, I did take it a little bit further than what her regrowth was, because I wanted it to be more fading out from darker to lighter. Now onto my haircut. Pretty much I took a lot of hair off, and as we can show you, because we've kept it, That was just the ponytail that we cut off, and then I took probably a good another. The ponytail when we put it back, I put it into a low ponytail, very loose, and I just gave it a quick snip, and it came to about just below her shoulders in most parts. So then we took it up a lot higher. Also, you know, the thing that I wanted to do was make it solid, but also try and add in all the layers that she had through her hair as well. It had been quite a while since she last had a haircut. So to start off with the sections, I did my cross section through the middle, and then along the back. So with the sections at the back, my first section that I took was a centimetre, about a centimetre, just to give me my baseline to follow off of. And then from there, I took around about the same about a centimetre until I got up to a bit higher where there was less hair, but you know, I could still see the baseline that I was cutting from. Going on with the sides as well. So once I had done the back on both, I then continued on from the sides. And once again, taking roughly about a centimetre first off to get my base that I can follow on from here, and also being mindful of the ear. So I'd separate it into half, take it behind the ear first to cut, and then I'd move it to the front, and then I'd cut from the bit that I'd already taken off. Then, sorry?
Sorry, did you tilt the head anyway?
Yes, I did. So, yep. So when I was doing the back, I had the head tilted forward, and the reason for that was when I did my baseline, I then cut about a mil longer than what my baseline was, purely so I didn't get graduation coming up. And the projection that I took the hair, each section that I took was 0 degrees to stop that graduation from happening. Then on the sides, I tilted it to the side and just forward a tiny bit, just making sure that, you know, when I was cutting, that I didn't want it to be, you know, the front to be coming up. And then after talking with Kate, we discussed about her fringe. At the time, when I finished and hadn't touched the fringe yet, she couldn't see her eyes when the fringe was past there. So, not having done a fringe before, the problem was her last haircut. The lady that cut it brought it back too far, and she wanted to have the longer bits through the front with her fringe then blending in. So what I did was I took the fringe forward and it was dry as well, cutting it dry, and all I did was I took it forward, and the bits on the side that fell out were the bits that I didn't touch. And then I took my first section, I took it down and I cut it, bringing it down nice, and like I said, so whichever bits on the side that fell out from where I was pulling out, that was where I didn't touch, and then from that I then used that first section I did as the baseline. Then after that, blow dried it all nice and straight. Went over it with the irons as well, just to give it a bit more of a polished look. Trying not to round it off too much at the ends because I didn't want it to, look very old-fashioned sort of haircut, but still keeping with the fringe being blunt as well. Give me a bit of an edgy sort of solid bob, and then I just went through with my comb, putting pressure on it as well, and just